Hello students, welcome to my lecture series for animal ecology. Myself Dr. Sangeeta Bhamre, Department of Zoology, SVKT College, Devlali Camp, Nasik. In last lecture, we people saw about the community characteristic in which the various features which are related to the community, how the animals which are living together, how there is a evolution. So all these things we people have discussed in the succession, where we saw the primary succession, secondary succession, then climax, and process of succession means the factors responsible to cause the succession. So all these things we people saw in community, which was the previous chapter in community characteristic. Now in this lecture I am going to talk on the animal interactions, right? So basically in animal interaction I am going to discuss on the various points which comes or which are the parts of this animal interaction as. So first of all we will go towards the competition, then some beneficial associations and antagonistic associations. So all this type of associations or interactions which are mentioned in our syllabus. So on that topics I am going to talk. So first of all, what is mean by animal interaction? So animals which are living togetherly, especially we saw this thing in population as well as in community. So when they are living togetherly, so how they interact with each other means most of the time after interaction or during interaction means they are sharing the habits or habitats, their food material, etc. So at the time of this sharing of food, habitat, there may be some positive outcomes or there may be some negative outcomes or sometimes the neutral type of effect or outcomes can be seen. So here we are going to talk about this positive, negative as well as some neutral outcomes. So for this the various types of interaction we are going to talk here. So first is the competition. Competition is the first animal interaction. So how we can define this competition? So competition is a biological interaction between two or more organisms of the same or different species where the species compete with each other for the different resources. So as each and every organism needs the food material, water, habitat or shelter, etc. So for all these things he needs or there may be some limited resources. So suppose resources are limited, then that time obviously there will be the competition. So what happened here? Competition not necessary in between different species or same species. It may be different species in between or it may be in the same species. So most of the competitive interaction occurs for the need of food resources which occur in a limited supply. So it has been observed that as compared to shelter or habitat, whatever the competition which can be seen is especially for the food. This is the purpose. So in this picture you can see the different types of competition. So first picture towards the left shows the intraspecific type of competition. So basically intraspecific competition and interspecific competition, these are the two types of competition. So intraspecific means within the same species. So what you can see in this picture, the 4 plants are there. So 4 plants which are competing with each other for the purpose of nutrients or water. In second picture, you can see the interspecific type of competition. So interspecific means what? Here as such the competition is there but species or organisms may be are of different types. So this is the major difference in between intraspecific competition and interspecific competition. So in intraspecific competition, competition is within the species means same type of organism or you can call it as a population. So within the population when there is a competition for the purpose of food or shelter, then that time it will be known as a intraspecific type of competition. And when competition is in between the 2 or 3 different species for the purpose of food or shelter, then that time it is interspecific competition. So some direct or indirect type of competition can also be seen. So in this picture towards the right you can see the 4 different category of the animals. So some are insects, some are herbivores and some are carnivores. So here what happened, there may be the competition directly or indirectly for the purpose of food or shelter or habitat. So especially suppose the area or habitat is limited, then that time the competition can be seen in between herbivores as well as carnivores. So all these type of competitions are there, intraspecific, interspecific, direct and indirect type of competition, then interference for the purpose of exploitation and apparent competition. So these are the different types of competitions. Then here, as per the definition, interspecific is also known as a heterogametic type of competition. Why it is so? Because the species are different. That's why it may be referred as a heterogametic type of competition. So the examples of the heterogametic type of competition is mentioned here. This lion, leopard, hyena, etc. So here the species are different, that's why it is called as a heterogametic competition. While intraspecific competition means homogametic type of competition, where competition can be seen within the species or within the population. So this is all about the competition. So remember here, competition is the first type of animal interaction and second animal interaction is the symbiosis. So in symbiosis, what happened? Mutualism is there, commensalism is there and parasitism is there. So what is mean by mutualism, what is commensalism and parasitism? So with their respective example, we are going to discuss about it. So basically the term symbiosis includes a broad range of species interaction but typically refers to three major types. So symbiosis always doesn't mean here the positive type of interaction. So most of the time some interaction may be negative or neutral type of interactions are there. So mutualism, commensalism and parasitism. These are the three types of interaction which are the part of symbiosis. So symbiosis basically is interaction characterized by two or more species which are living purposefully in direct contact with each other. So here there may be the purpose which we can see for the purpose for this particular relationship or interaction. So that purpose sometimes may be positive or sometimes may be negative. So first is the commensalism. Commensalism is the positive or beneficial association. Commensalism is when two species live together where one is get benefited or one gets the benefit while not necessarily the other will be benefited or harmed. So there is no any type of effect which we can see with the another partner. So here only one is get benefited but for other here there is no benefit and no harm. So the example for this relationship can be seen in humpback whale and the barnacle. So especially this type of relationship or interaction can be seen in between these two aquatic animals. So best example which is mentioned in our syllabus is the remora fish. Remora fish removes the parasite from the shark skin and even inside the mouth which benefits the shark. Okay. So it has been observed that this remora fish is responsible to remove some parasites which are supposed available to that particular skin area. So that parasite will be removed with the help of this remora fish. So here you can see this remora which is also known as a sucker fish. So with the help of that sucker it gets fixed or attached to this big shark fish. The remora fish attached to the shark by the sucker in its mouth. So it travels everywhere the shark goes. It eats the parasite on the sharks which helps keep the shark clean. It also eats any leftover food from the shark. Okay. So here just for the cleaning purpose. So basically here remora fish is get benefited as compared to the shark. Then another example is cattle, egret and cows. So here cattle, egret and cows are an example of commensalism. Why? Because whenever cows and other such livestock are in the fields, they tend to move insects that have been nestling on the grass. So whatever the insects are there nearby or on the body of these domestic animals will be eaten by these egrets or this particular ducks. Okay. So this cattle egret then catches them and preys upon them, the cattle egret gets the benefit from this because they manage to get this insect that they wish to prey on, and the cow remains unaffected or unharmed. So here the benefit can be seen to the heron as compared to the domestic animal. So whatever the nearby insects are there on the body or nearby to this particular domestic animal will be eaten by this heron or this egret. So against it, this insect, this cattle may get relief from this insect, means sometimes maybe get benefit or sometimes there is no benefit or no harm. So this is the good example which we can see associated with the commensalism. So next to commensalism, another example is the mutualism. So mutualism is a common type of ecological interaction, means whenever two or three populations or the species which are living in the community, so they show the mutual type of behavior. So here the outcomes of this mutualism are some sort of a positive one, means it has been observed that here the both animals get benefit after this interaction. So it describes the ecological interaction between two or more species where each species has a net benefit, means each will get the benefit after this interaction. So example which is given here, termites and Trichonympha. So termites have a mutualistic relationship with the protozoa that live in the insect's gut. So here termites, they shows this protozoan, that is Trichonympha. So both will get benefit after this relationship. The termite benefits from the ability of bacterial symbiont within the protozoa to digest cellulose. So it has been observed that Trichonympha, which is responsible to synthesize the enzyme cellulase. So termites, which are the wood eating insects. So termites, their food is cellulose, obviously. So question for the termite is how it will be responsible to digest the cellulose. So it has been observed that in their gut area, this Trichonympha type of bacteria are surviving. So there is a relationship in between this termite and the Trichonympha. So how it is? So termites are responsible to provide the shelter to Trichonympha. Against it, Trichonympha are responsible to synthesize this enzyme cellulase, which latter is responsible to digest the wood sugar, that is cellulose. So this is how we can see that both these organisms get benefit after their interaction. Then next, mutualistic type of relationship or interaction can be seen in honeybees and flowers. So bees and flowers have evolved together from millions of years. So it's a mutual relationship where the bee is provided with the food or nectar or pollen, and against it this plant gets to disperse their pollens from one space towards the another space. So seed disperser or pollination is the purpose of the plants, and against it these honeybees are responsible to collect the nectar from that particular plant. So this is how the beneficial or mutualistic type of interaction can be seen in between this honeybees and flowers. The next example is cleaning symbiosis in fish by the prawns. So cleaner shrimp are so called because they exhibit a cleaner symbiosis with client fish, where the shrimp clean parasite from the fish. So shrimps are responsible to clean this particular parasite, whatever they are present in the mouth area of that particular fish. So this is how here the shrimp gets the ready-made food material, which is nothing but the parasites of that fish, and this fish gets the relief from that particular parasites which are eaten by the shrimps. The fish benefit by having parasite removed from them, and the shrimp gain the nutritional value in the form of these parasites. So in many coral reefs, this cleaner shrimp congregate at cleaning station. So there is a relationship in between the coral reef as well as shrimp, then some shrimp and fishes, etc., where the role of some shrimp is to clean the area. Why? Because these parasites are the food material for this particular shrimps. Then next to symbiosis, mutualism, commensalism, we turn towards the antagonistic association. So here some sort of a negative effects can be seen or negative type of outcomes are there from this antagonistic associations. So antagonistic relationships are manifested through this parasitism, predation, competition, and this antibiosis between two different species. So first, parasitism is a relationship in which one species, which is nothing but the parasite, is always benefited at the cost of other species host. Means as such, there is a harm to the host while parasite is get benefited from that particular host. So some sort of a negative outcomes can be seen from this antagonistic or parasitism type of interaction. So parasitism is a close relationship between species where one organism, the parasite, lives or on inside other organism, where we call this other organism as a host. So causing it some harm and is adapted structurally to this way of life. Means some sort of adaptation latter can be seen in between the parasite as well as the host, where always host is get harm, where the parasite is get benefited. The parasites of the animals are highly specialized and reproduced at a faster rate than their host. So it has been observed that most of the parasites shows the rate of reproduction is quite higher as compared to the host. The example which is mentioned in the syllabus is Ascaris and man. So Ascaris is one of the type of parasite. So Ascaris is an intestinal parasite, especially for the humans and some domestic animal. So it is the most common human worm infection. The larvae and adult worms live especially in the small intestinal part of this human, where they are responsible to cause the intestinal disease. So in this picture you can see how the human being is get affected when this Ascaris lumbricoid enters inside the intestinal portion of the human. So where it is responsible to cause the various intestinal disorders or diseases. So another parasite is the lice. So lice and humans, so especially head lice, are wingless insect. Which kind of insect? They are basically the wingless insect. Means they are unable to locate themselves from one side to other side. So they spend their entire life on the human scalp and feeding exclusively on the human blood. So humans and some mammals as monkeys are the only known host for this specific parasite, that is lice. So there are only two ways the head lice can spread from person to person. So it has been observed. One is by direct head-to-head contact and another as when children hug or put their heads together to look at the same book or any type of object, etc. So while means person to person contact is especially responsible for the transmission of this lice from one individual to the next individual. And it has been observed that some unhygienic conditions are also responsible to make the population of this type of parasite or insect, that is lice. Another interaction is prey-predator type of interaction or prey-predation. So predator is an organism that eats another organism. The prey is an organism which the predator eats. So predator, which is the organism responsible to eat the another organism, where this another organism is nothing but the prey. The words predator and prey are almost always used to mean only animals that eat the animals. But here most of the time what happened, not only animals but plants are also applies for the same, means plant may act as a prey or predator. So bear and berry, rabbit and lettuce, grasshopper and leaf will be the good example for this prey predatorship, means where one is the animal and another is the plant. Means this predators are the animals and prey for their prey is nothing but the plant. Like bear is the animal and berry is the plant. Then in between lion and deer. So is a lion a predator of a deer? The mountain lion is a high class predator and a controversial species. So mountain lions prey on all age classes of mule deer, which are the small animals, especially herbivore type of these mammals. So this mountain lion, which is nothing but the predator. So what is their prey? Their prey is the small mammal, that is mule deer and white-tailed deer. So this is how we people saw this various interaction in this chapter, that is competition, symbiosis, commensalism, mutualism. So where what we saw some positive outcomes are there, some negative outcomes are there, and some sort of a neutral outcomes are also there. So overall, we can understand that these animal interactions are very essential for each and every organism which is surviving in that particular habitat or ecosystem. So one final outcome of this interaction is that here it helps to maintain the stability of that particular ecosystem, means it helps to maintain the population of that particular ecosystem, etc. So these are few questions which you have to solve for this particular animal interaction chapter. So first of all, you have to go towards what are animal interaction. In detail, you have to explain it, means their types, etc., their effects, what are their positive outcomes, negative outcomes, etc. So remember here with example, you have to explain it. And next, give short notes on competition, symbiosis and mutualism. Again, here first of all, you will define this type of interaction, and with example, appropriate example, diagram, you have to explain it. In next lecture, I am going to talk on review of animal ecology. Thank you.